showing up. Look at how far we've come. Everybody building the path of love. Now we gotta keep walking it. Gotta keep walking it. Well, somebody got an idea and then they go talking it. They show up to make it real and then we go building the path of love. Now we gotta keep walking it. Gotta keep walking it. Who knows where to go? Just keep on the winding path. Which road do you suppose is the path of love? Just keep on walking, writing, loving, fighting. Keep on working, praying, living and dying. The heart of the thing I'm trying to say is the beating pulse of every day. It's the song I sing, the prayer I pray. It'll lead my path all along the way. Listen, amazing gratitude. Somebody might fall down and then we go pick 'em up. We're holding the lost and found. Everybody building the path of love. Now we gotta keep walking it. Gotta keep walking it. Well, the road just might get long, but we keep walking on. Because the hold of a hand is strong. Everybody building the path of love. Now we gotta keep walking it. Gotta keep walking it. Who knows where to go? Just keep on the winding path. Which road do you suppose is the path of love? Just keep on walking, writing, loving and fighting. Keep on working, praying, living and dying. The heart of the thing I'm trying to say is the beating pulse of every day. It's the song I sing, the prayer I pray. It'll lead my path all along the way. There's a maze, this amazing gratitude. Showing up. Look at how far we've come. Everybody building the path of love. Now we gotta keep walking it. Gotta keep walking it. Gotta keep walking it. Gotta keep walking it. Shall we live? And how will we be remembered? Inheritors of the moment. Our legacy never ends. This life's for the living, for the loving and the giving. It's a gift for the children of the generations ahead. My heart is full and my hands are open, and the work of love is the life I've chosen. My arms are wide in a world that's broken, with a holy tribe, this human race in motion. For whom shall we live? And how will we be remembered? Inheritors of the moment. Our legacy never ends. This life's for the living, for the loving and the giving. It's a gift for the children of the generations ahead. My heart is full and my hands are open, and the work of love is the life I've chosen. Praise song, singing, raise voices ringing, move forward into that light. We're all equal voices, giving songs for the living. Sing as we soar through the night. We're just people. What if today we walk in the light, knowing we're all equal now? Wouldn't it be something to see? We're all equal, no matter the skin, with money or none. We are all just people. Wow, how does it feel not to be free? We're just people walking forward into the day. We're all equal voices calling. Hope is on the way. We're just people. We are the ones who are walking forward into the light of the day. We're all equal voices. Our praise song is calling for all people to sing on your way. We're just people. Praise song, singing, raise voices ringing, move forward into that light. We're all equal voices, giving songs for the living. Sing as we soar through the night. We're just people. Praise song, singing, raise voices ringing, move forward into that light. We're all equal voices, giving songs for the living. Sing as we soar through the night. We're just people. Praise song, singing, raise voices ringing, move forward into that light. We're all equal voices, giving songs for the living. Sing as we soar through the night. We're just people walking forward into the day. We're all equal voices calling. Hope is on the way. We're just people. Hey. Before me, open my eyes to see. May the beauty above and below me set my soul free. May the beauty inside me wake me up to feel the beauty between you and me is real. And may I be complete within my open circle. May I be willing to see some hope in a broken world. May I be like this tree, standing in the center of my circle. I am solid on the ground, and I know I'm not alone. before me. Open my eyes to see. May the beauty above and below me set my soul free. May the beauty inside me wake me up to feel the beauty between you and me is real. And may I be complete within my open circle. May I be willing to see some hope in a broken world. May I be like this tree, standing in the center of my circle. I am solid on the ground, and I know I'm not alone. I'm not. Walking through life is just not that easy. Trouble and sorrow coming with no reason. Same old in a world that's been broken. Don't you need a song? Don't you need a welcome, welcome? With this moment of grace coming your way. In the peace of this place we say welcome. In the darkness, in the light we share a welcome. Through the morning and the night these doors are open. Welcome, welcome. We come newborn with opening hearts. We are one love, and love never stops. We share one moon, one breath and one moment, with thrown open arms. Welcome. Somehow all things will fall into beauty. Somehow the light comes and shines right through you and me. Oh, almighty love has its own unfolding. Just hold on to the ones you love and sing a never-ending welcome, welcome. Beyond politics and faith, come in your welcome. Beyond the walls of fear and shame, we say welcome. From the mountains to the valleys and the oceans, we call out an unbounded welcome, welcome. Come newborn with opening hearts. We are one love, and love never stops. We share one moon, one breath and one moment, with thrown open arms. Welcome. Walking through life is just not that easy. trouble and sorrow coming with no reason. Same old in a world that's been broken. Don't you need a song? Don't you need a welcome, welcome? Come newborn with opening hearts. We are one love, and love never stops. We share one moon, one breath and one moment. With thrown open arms, we welcome. Over the many miles we have traveled on our way, over the hopes and trials we have come now to this day. Now is the time of learning, listening, building harmony. And now is the time of growing, willing, risking to be free. Come dance with us, raise hands with us, come work with us. As we move through history, come sing with us, make the bells ring with us, come love with us, and may we hold your company. Oh, you seeker, will you join us on your way? I am in you, you are in me, we welcome you this day. We are the celebration, we're the joy, and now's the time. We are the best of the poetry, we're the rhythm and the rhyme. I am another you, and therefore you are another me. Let's circle it up, let's dance and join our hands in company. Come dance with us, raise hands with us, come work with us. As we move through history, come sing with us, make the bells ring with us, come love with us, and may we hold your company. Oh, you seeker, will you join us on your way? I am in you, you are in me, we welcome you this day. Come dance with us, raise hands with us, come work with us. As we move through history, come sing with us, make the bells ring with us, come love with us, and may we hold your company. Oh, you seeker, will you join us on your way? I am in you, you are in me, we welcome you this day. Oh, you seeker, will you join us on your way? I am in you, you are in me, we welcome you this day. Strong is what we make each other, with the power of a hand in the hand of another. Gathering now, sing it all together. We're building a world of love, and we're giving these mountains to climb. The road is long and the path treacherous. Together we're sounding the cry, searching for the light at the top of the hill. circle is the way we lift each other, arm in arm, bound together. Living from the heart, our love is delivered, and we're held by the hands of God. And we're walking this long trodden road, lifted by the light and the truths of the universe, singing these old songs of hope. Every step we're learning the way. When I'm walking all alone, I can feel the weight on my shoulder. A weary animal, and this road just gets longer. When I'm reaching out a hand, you're proving it over and over. You make me understand that with love we get stronger. Strong is what we make each other, circling now, stronger together. Family, foe, friend, or neighbor, our vision is a world of love. And we're given these mountains to climb. The road is long and the path treacherous. Together we're sounding the cry, searching for the light at the top of the hill. And we're given these mountains to climb. The road is long and the path treacherous. Together we're sounding the cry, searching for the light at the top of the hill. Hand, who's holding the hand of a mother. She's holding the hand of a child's hand, who's holding the hand of another. He's holding the hand of a sister's hand. She's holding my hand. We are a circle of our lives unfold as we dance. We move, we change, we grow. We're face to face with the unknown. So hold the hand as you dive into the dance.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on MarshStream, your public performance broadcast platform. My name is Brianna Caver, assistant producer for MarshStream, and we are back again tonight for Solo Arts Heal and Can Edition. Although our theater doors are now back open, there are still some folks unable to attend these live performances, so these free streaming performances are brought to you by patrons just like yourself, all who donate to our tip jar. The link is posted in the chat and is also available on our website at themarsh.org. Remember, all donations are tax deductible and 100% matched. We need you now more than ever to continue these free streaming performances to our community. If you're watching us live on YouTube, welcome and thank you for joining us. Please make sure you subscribe to be notified when we go live and watch the hours of free performances, interviews, and events we have archived all right there on our channel. Friday at the Marsh San Francisco, we have Adam Strauss's Adam Strauss is Not Unhappy at 7:30 p.m. Saturday at the Marsh San Francisco is Catherine Keats, The Hummingbird at 7 p.m. And Sunday at the Marsh Berkeley is The Never Too Late Show with Don Reed at 7 p.m. Again, please donate to our tip jar. Thank you for joining us. And now let's welcome your host, Rick Davis.
Hello, everybody, and I'm glad to be back. It gives me the opportunity to put out a huge thank you to Alexa Jett, who stood in for me last month with Sasha Soroff. I hope you saw that. It was an amazing show. What was even more amazing was the fact that Sasha and I figured out that we lived in the same apartment building in New York, one floor apart. She was on 7 and I was on 8. And I've since connected her with a dear friend of mine, my neighbors, and one of whom is a social worker, licensed social worker and therapist. And I'm sure something's going to come of that. But it's just incredible how these synchronicities come about. Second thing I want to say tonight, because my wonderful producer, John Ivory, reminded me before the show, who knew, this is our 2-year anniversary, which is amazing. And the biggest shout out to make this 2 years has to go to John, because he continues to find wonderful, wonderful guests. And then secondly, to Brianna, who produces this every month and does a wonderful job. And I have to remember Kristen as well, who Brianna assisted to begin with. I have the easy job, which is to come online at 7:30 Pacific and just chat with the guests, which any of you could do. So that is, again, a good segue for me to introduce our guest this month from Kent, Ohio, Hal Walker. Welcome, Hal.
Hello, Rick. Thank you so much.
Hello. And I've been reading all this stuff. And is there any truth to the fact that the Cuyahoga River catches on fire? Is this true, Al, or is this an urban myth?
It's long past history. The Cuyahoga has been reborn, and it's a beautiful river now. But at one time, it caught on fire. It was so polluted.
Oh, and can you fish in there now? And can you eat?
Oh yeah, you can fish in there. You can swim in there. You can. I live just about a block away from the Cuyahoga River, and it's one of my favorite places to go.
Okay, describe in one word why we should all come to visit the Cuyahoga River.
Well, because Hal Walker grew up blowing the harmonica along the banks of the Cuyahoga River.
Oh, so that, I think the word would be harmonica.
Harmonica, right? That's your
harmonica. Word. And that's a very interesting word, because it leads us into why we're talking with you. How old were you when you started blowing the harmonica?
Well, thanks for asking. I was quite young. I think that was one of my first instruments, probably 2nd or 3rd grade, when I got myself a harmonica, and I learned "Oh, Susanna" and "Amazing Grace," and I started playing at the family talent shows. And I never looked back. The harmonica has been an important part of my life.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute. You intrigue me with the family talent shows. Who led the family talent show? Were you the lead artist,
No, it was
or were you down the list a little?
no. My mom is listening right now. Hi, mom. And it was probably my mom asking me to get up in front of the great aunts, Aunt Robina and my grandmother Alvita, and to perform for the family. It's down in Birmingham, Alabama. We would have, there was always a time when Hal got up and played his harmonica for the family.
Okay. Well, the good news is you can stick it in your pocket when you left Kent, Ohio, right?
You're right. You're right. That's the great thing about the harmonica. My
Now, what about
specialty,
those?
my specialty is musical instruments that fit in your pocket. And I
Oh, well,
have a
wait
whole
minute.
house full
I
of
think
them.
I've seen a few that don't exactly fit in your pocket, unless you've got very big pockets. Have the size of your pockets increased since you were about 8 years old?
Well, I
What's
have a
that?
whole
What
house.
about that Bacalula thing? That, I mean, isn't and and the cane? What about the cane? I mean,
Well, here's the
it-
Bonaculas. The Bonaculas
okay,
is what
so
you're referring to, also
okay,
known as
those will go in your
Oscillato.
pocket. Yeah. Okay.
That's one of my
Okay.
favorites.
But how about that? How about the cane? That thing that I saw you play, that you teaching Chris Martin to play.
Well, that's
Does
actually
that
called
fit
a
in your
can.
pocket?
It does
Oh, the
if you have
can.
a big enough pocket. I have actually used that joke at elementary schools. When my pockets are big enough, I put it in my pocket. But by the way, it's called a can, not the cane. The
Can.
can, like
Okay, can. Thank you.
a can of tuna fish.
Okay.
And I have one right here, as a matter of fact.
Let me see. Oh
You gotta
my
start
God.
there.
Oh my God. Can you give us a quick note on it?
Sure, I can.
Oh,
There's a little something.
we didn't hear anything.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
know what?
hear anything.
I have to turn off. Okay, there, you'll hear it now.
Okay. Oh,
It's a mouth
thank
organ.
you. Yeah, we definitely heard that. That's fantastic. And where does that instrument come from?
That is from Laos and Northeast Thailand. I actually traveled to remote villages in Northeast Thailand in search of the grandmother of the harmonica and found the makers of this instrument.
Wow. Wow. Well, is there history that establishes that this preceded the harmonica? Or
There
not?
is. It's part of a family of instruments called free reed instruments, which include the sheng of China and the sompotan of some other Southeast Asian country and the can of Laos. So these are all free reed instruments, and for the free reed family is where the harmonica comes from.
Oh. Now, we haven't even talked about how you come to Solo Arts Heal, which we will do, but we have to get into our first video because we got a clock here, which I'm keeping my eye on. You don't have to worry about that. And I'd love for you to introduce the first video, and then I'd love for very much like for Brianna to play it for us.
All right. Well, I play 3 different instruments. You know, truthfully, I'm a singer and a songwriter. I play the guitar and I write songs. But unfortunately, due to the illness that I'm living with, my voice is very weak and I'm not able to sing. But I am able to make some music out of some different instruments still. And the first one I'll play is the oscillato, also known as televi or kaskas. It's an African instrument. You'll see me play that. And then I'll play the jaw harp, which is this awesome little thing. I'll give you a quick.
Oh, yes.
The jaw harp is next. And then you'll hear me play.
Definitely pocket size.
Yes.
Definitely pocket size.
Definitely pocket size. And then you'll hear me play the can.
Okay. All right. Well,
Enjoy.
roll it
I'm
out.
sorry. I wish I could play these for you live, but the way we've arranged it tonight, it worked best for us to pre-record.
Okay.
Bonacula. The Melodious Can.
Whoa. Ian, I love that. I love that. I have so many questions. I know we've got to talk about myalgic encephalomyelitis. I know we do. We do. But first of all, before we get to that, they get all those long pipes into a little harmonica. That's what I want to know.
Well, this is the mouth organ. This is the true mouth organ. And the inventors, apparently spice traders brought the free reed instruments across Asia, and for the first time in the 1800s, Europeans heard the sound, and they developed the accordion, the concertina, and the harmonica.
All right. All right. Wow.
But
fascinating. Now,
as a segue,
go ahead, please.
This does not, when I see those videos, it doesn't look like a guy living with moderately severe chronic illness. Like that's the interesting thing about this illness is it's invisible. I look perfectly healthy, and I can make it come alive. I can make myself come alive, but the fact is I'm mostly housebound and mostly bed-based, living with moderately severe myalgic encephalomyelitis.
We'll come back to silent illness because we're very familiar with it through some of the groups that we run here, and it touches a chord when you see that, and I suspect it will touch a chord with some of the people watching in, and we'll be able to sell this video to some of the groups that also live with silent illness. So I definitely want to come back to it. But I got to ask you something else. The second instrument you played, the first instrument, how do you still have hands? That's what I want to know. How come you still have hands? If that was me, they'd be so bruised up and beaten up, I wouldn't have any hands anymore.
I've never been injured by the Banakulas. But
Okay.
I guess I'm coordinated.
I
They're-
guess
They're
I
soft, you
am
know,
not. So
They're just little. They don't hurt.
we believe you. Right, John Ivory, we really believe you. Now, the second instrument you played
How do you
brought
still have
back
teeth?
some very distinct. Yeah, no. It brought back some other memories of the didgeridoo. To me, that sounded like a didgeridoo because when I was a little kid, there was a very popular song on the radio, which by Rolf Harris called "My Boomerang Won't Come Back."
Mm.
It may not be totally politically correct right now, but that was the song, and it was a kid's song, and it was called "My Boomerang Won't Come Back." I'm sure you'll find it on YouTube, and it featured the didgeridoo. Now, the only difference between what I heard and the didgeridoo is about 6 feet, because the didgeridoo is a very long tube, but it sounded to me just like a didgeridoo.
You're right. The sound is similar. They're not at all. They're not very closely related, but the sound is similar. The jaw harp is just a metal prong that I pluck. It creates a vibration. Here you can hear this vibration,
Yes.
and then I aim those vibrations to the resonating chamber of my mouth, and I shape them into musical tones.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Oh, we love that. We love that. We love that. So let me come back a little bit to this silent illness. Before you were diagnosed with the myalgic encephalomyelitis, I'm assuming chronic fatigue syndrome was not part of your world. Is that right?
No, the original onset of this illness was in 1992. So I've been living
wow.
with a mild version of it for many years. But it was a sudden onset in 1992. One day I was healthy, I ran 6 miles, and I woke up the next day feeling weird symptoms in my body that never went away. That was when I was 25 years old. And but it was, looking back now, it was very mild, or mild to moderate over the years. But in 2021, it became very severe for some unknown reason.
So the myalgic encephalitis may have had a reason that exacerbated it, or it may have been unrelated. Is that what I'm hearing you saying?
Well, it's a mystery illness. There's no known cause and no known treatment. So it is a total mystery of why it got worse in 2021. I was living the best year of my life in 2020. And for whatever reason, my health in 2021, it got worse and worse over the course of months, to where I was mostly housebound. And it's been a mystery.
Oh
You know,
my
I've
goodness.
been to all the doctors, been to all the alternative practitioners, and that's the story of most of the millions of people living with ME/CFS. It's a mystery, and people are living with very severe disability, and they look healthy, and no one can find anything wrong with them.
So when you say ME/CFS, not all CFS is associated with ME, correct? Or am I wrong on that?
No, it's the same illness, but people living with the illness prefer ME, myalgic encephalomyelitis, because chronic fatigue syndrome is a name that I don't particularly like, and it makes it sound like I'm tired all the time and maybe a little bit lazy or something. But it's a lot of people living with chronic fatigue syndrome find it to be a name that is not very useful. So but it's barely diagnosable. You know, it's barely it's hard. There's nothing that even tells us it actually exists. You know, there's no test for it. It's basically a trash can diagnosis of when everything else is ruled out, they give you the diagnosis of ME/CFS.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm living with, I call the version I'm living with moderately severe, but there are people with severe and very severe who are completely bedridden, unable to speak, unable to socialize at all. It's a very, very challenging lifestyle. It's one of the most challenging, what do they say, qualities of life of all the illnesses.
Yeah. Well, before I get too far away from our schedule, because I don't want to leave this alone. Why don't you introduce the second video to us?
Well, in 2019, I was giving an assembly for some fifth graders, and during the question and answer time, one of the fifth grade girls stood up and said, "Are you on TikTok?" And I had never heard of TikTok, and I said no. And then she said, "You should be." And I went home that night in 2019 and I downloaded TikTok and I uploaded my very first video. And I started posting a video every day over the course of several years. And now I have 2.5 million followers on TikTok. And it has transformed my musical career. And one of my favorite things about TikTok is collaborating. You'll see that there are some, there's a couple carpenters that are making rhythms with their hammers, and I add some music on top of that. But the reason what you're going to see is a bunch of my TikTok videos. And TikTok videos are short, they're under 1 minute. And so that's what it is. That's what you're about to see.
Okay.
You're going to see,
oh my gosh. Let's roll it, Brianna, and I'll absorb the 2.5 million. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. I'm just wondering how you could get a kitchen sink and a refrigerator into your pocket.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
the title of this talk today was about the arts as a really as a tool for survival.
Yes.
Creativity as a tool for surviving long haul illness. And my whole life has been turned upside down. You know, I used to be a performing artist working in schools, and I was the music director of a church, and I would do live performances all the time. But now I'm very limited, but I still have creativity to turn to. And I still have the arts to turn to, even if just for a few minutes a day, like some of those videos, just about 20 minutes a day. And my inspiration to create gives me purpose to go on, and it gives me some continued sense of myself as an artist. But it's been a devastating loss. This illness has been devastating loss for me, but I'm so grateful that I still have enough energy to make art for a few minutes a day.
I'm speechless. I mean, that's where I wanted to go, but I think we have to unpack that a little bit. I mean, that is exactly what I wanted to hear, Hal. Thank you so much. And I think that's what the audience wanted to hear. Before TikTok, how were you fulfilling that need?
Before TikTok, I mean, I have a 25-year career as a musician, and I spent a lot of time in schools. I traveled around to schools and did residencies and single performances. There's nothing I love more than to stand in front of a gymnasium full of third and fourth graders and break out the banakulas and break out the can and break out the jaw harp, and within, you know, I love that. I miss it so much, and I hope that someday I get back to it. But there's nothing I like more than being on a stage and connecting with an audience.
I think we have to connect you with the father of one of our former performers, Brian Smith. You'll go to our website later on and you'll listen to Brian. And Brian has an amazing story. And his father writes music for school kids, grades 5 to 7, I think, or 3 to 5, I can't remember which, and toured around the country with orchestras. He's going to be here in Tucson very soon, and I'll go listen to him. And of course, when I saw what you do, I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to find a way to see if there's a way for you to collaborate with Greg Smith. So you can look him up afterwards. He can look you up afterwards.
I will.
Maybe we'll make a union here of some sort or the other. So when these people on TikTok hear you, do they come to you with an idea? Did you go to that carpenter, that amazing carpenter with a hammer, or did he come to you, or how does this come about?
TikTok is all about sharing sound. So when I hear a sound that I like that, that carpenter, he may have seen the video, but he didn't know that I was working on this. So he posted a video of himself going down the line, and I noticed the rhythm of it, and I used my special method of pulling a video off of TikTok and then editing it and adding my own music on top of it. But TikTok is all about sharing sound and collaborating and doing these things called duets. Duet is where you see something you like and you add something on top of it.
And is that for somebody who's a technical moron when it comes to the computer and Apple and all of this, is that hard to do? Is it easy to do? I mean, is this something you had to learn that you hadn't done before, or had you always used the computer before?
Well, there was a time when the only thing I used the computer for was email. But then over the last 15 years, I've gotten quite good at creating systems. Like when the pandemic hit, I had this church choir, and suddenly I needed to learn how to turn a choir into a virtual ensemble. And I was pretty good. I was pretty quick at learning that. And I made some videos of my whole choir singing together online, each in individual little boxes. The pandemic really opened up. I had to learn things very quickly when the pandemic hit. And also with TikTok, it's inspired me to learn a lot about the computer. So I have some systems that I'm getting pretty smooth at.
Whoa. I mean, this is just sort of totally enlightening to me. So, if I look a little aghast, it's because it's like all new and I'm having to take this all in and absorb it. And I love it. I mean, one thing that we do here at ANCAN is we have a virtual art class, and we run this once a month. We've actually done a solo arts here with the lady that runs it, Hannah Garrison, and people join in with their own materials and they go through this art class. But the reason I raise it is because we have a fairly significant multiple sclerosis program. And so some of those folks don't have good manual dexterity and they don't have the use of their hands. So we now have people joining us. In fact, one particular lady who's a big fan of Solo Arts Heal and lives in Oakland, who does this on the computer. So she doesn't need any art materials. She does her virtual painting on the computer itself. Yep. So it's just fantastic. Now, okay,
well,
we've got to go to
for people, especially for someone living like me, living mostly housebound. I can't do a lot of the things I used to do, but the computer is a lifesaver. I mean, I'm on Zoom meetings. I connect with people through Zoom. I'm part of the London Writers Salon, which is this writing community that I meet with every day online. And
now I know how you found John.
Yes, that's where we met.
Well, we have to say, I have to say that back in 2010, that was the motivation to start ANCAN. I mean, it wasn't ANCAN back then, but it was the fact that there were so many people that were housebound or had physical disabilities, geographical disabilities, social disabilities that couldn't meet with each other. And why couldn't we create some sort of support between them virtually? Now, back in 2010, we were using teleconference lines, right? And that's how we got started. And in 2015, we went to virtual support groups. And then, of course, COVID came and that changed the world. Not for us so much because we knew what it could do, but it did for many, many people. So it wasn't devastating for us. But what you tell me is what I guess I appreciated and realized back in 2010 and hoped could improve the life of exactly for people like you. Exactly for people like you. Okay, we got to keep going here. Now, are you going to do a third piece live for us or are you going to do a video for us? What's your choice?
My choice is the video. I don't feel like I could do it justice from where I am.
No problem.
All right.
Okay. So introduce the video and then well, and we got that mouth harp anyway. We got a little bit of the mouth harp, which was really fantastic. So
we did.
Go
on. This is called The Can, and the piece you're going to hear is a meditation on the can. and that might cause you to giggle a little bit, meditation on the can, but it's the melodious can. And I give a little explanation of how the can works in the video, so you'll get to see that too.
Okay. All right.
Meditation on
Let's
the can.
thank you. Let's go for it.
Each one of these bamboo pipes is embedded with a tiny brass reed. And when I cover up one of these holes, I make the reed sound. So I'm going to use some of this insect dung, which is called kasut, in order to cover up a couple reeds, in order to create a drone sound for my next piece, Meditation on the Can, the melodious can. So now I've covered up 2 holes with the kasut, and now I have this. There we have it.
That's fantastic. I love it. And I think that might be the actual definition of Amazing Grace. I've got to tell you, that was really fantastic. And I can't let one good pun go without another. I'm wondering if when you run out of that insect dung, if you found more around the can.
Well, fortunately, I have several old cans that I have a supply of insect dung in my attic whenever I need it.
I won't ask.
It truly is.
Yeah.
It truly is insect dung. It's collected off of trees and it has a very sweet smell to it. It's quite nice.
Wow. 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 Now, I notice, by the way, folks, a couple of things. First of all, please check the chat because there are all kinds of links in the chat to Hal's social media and his TikTok and his Substack. And I encourage you all to go there, please. The question I wanted to ask you is that, excuse me. And also, if you have any questions, put them in the chat window, because this is the time when we take your questions and we put them to Hal. But Hal, what I wanted to get to, your daughter, you live at home with your daughter, Haley, right?
I don't know. She's moved on. She used to live here, but she has moved on to Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, she's moved on. Now, is she a musician?
She is. She's in musical theater. Yep.
Okay. Do you do duets together? And if you do, what does she play and what do you play?
Well, we've done quite a bit of singing together. We've been singing together ever since she was a baby. And we have several standard duets that we sing together, original songs that I've written. And she actually wrote, I wish we had the link handy. She wrote a song called Dear MECFS. And it's an absolutely stunning song that the whole MECFS community would embrace if they heard it, because it's so powerful. It's a letter she wrote to this illness. And I encourage everyone to go search on YouTube, Dear MECFS.
Okay. Maybe we can somehow or other get that into the chat. So I do have a question for you. And that question is, are you able to work and create your art on a daily basis?
Well, some days are better than others. There are some days when I'm barely able to. I will say today I spent about a half hour making music. I spend way more time than I would like, sort of in bed, quite uncomfortable. But I am every day. I mean, it's the thing that when I'm creating, I get some relief from my thinking around my illness, like any kind of distraction. And when I'm creating is the best distraction, because I can, for a little while at least, I have the strength. But for the thing about this illness is it's called post-exertional malaise. And when you exert energy, the illness can actually get worse. So I have to be very careful about the amount of energy that I exert. It's not the kind of thing where you build up strength over time. It's like any kind of exercise, any kind of exertion can actually make the illness worse. It's an awful illness. You don't want to get it.
No, I mean, I hear you saying that, and I mean, I can see you getting into a whirlwind of inspiration, and then suddenly thinking, oh, I can't finish this off because I'm going to feel terrible tomorrow. Do things like that happen to you?
It happens all the time. I have to be very cautious, and I'm not good at being cautious. I generally push myself a little bit more than I maybe should. And that may be why my illness has actually progressed over the last couple of years, because I tend to push myself.
Mm,
But
can
but
you
I
travel?
have so much creative juice in me. I have so much desire, creative desire, that it's so hard to hold back.
Can you get down by the banks of the Cuyahoga and play your harmonica?
Well, I have a three-wheel electric scooter that
Wow.
I ride around
Okay.
town, and I'm so grateful for that thing. I generally, I used to carry a harmonica with me everywhere I go, but I don't do so much harmonica playing down by the Cuyahoga River, but I do get down there and enjoy the nature on my
Oh,
scooter.
wow, wow, wow. Um, have we missed anything that you wanted to bring out in this short hour that we haven't touched on? Because we're coming towards the end of it.
Well, here's a little example of an instrument. This came across my Facebook page just about a week ago,
Oh,
and
wow.
these
Yeah.
are musical spoons, and I am so excited because I'm always learning new instruments, and this is my newest instrument. It's called the
Okay.
musical spoons, and I'll try to just give you a little. It's so hard to. I'm not in a very good position to do this, but I'll try to give you a
Okay.
little.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
That's
This needs
perfect.
it needs a fiddle.
I love it. And this is in a week. Imagine you're going to be a maestro in
No, that's in a
another
day.
week.
That's in a day. They just came in the
Oh,
mail
that's in a
yesterday.
day. Excuse me. Whoa, that's fantastic. I've always heard about the spoons. I mean, people, you can probably hear. I come from London originally, and I always heard about people playing the spoons. This must be what they were playing. I thought they just had two spoons they were
They
holding
do.
back to back. They do.
They do. Traditionally, people just do two spoons, but this is a modern invention that I came across, and I'm loving it. It's a little easier. I think it's easier to play than just two spoons, and it's got these beautiful wooden sort of.
Yes.
It's got this really nice sort of popping sound.
And okay, so here's maybe our last question for you, which is, what of all these weird and wonderful instruments that you have played, and I don't know how many there are, maybe you'll throw a number in, what is the most unusual one that you've had to play, that you've ever played?
Well, probably if you're in Southeast Asia, if you're in Laos or Northeast Thailand, this is not unusual. But
Right.
in the U.S., there are very few players. But you know what? I have, thanks to my success on TikTok, the the sales of cans are at an all-time historic high, because all these young, I mean, millions, thousands of young men. My demographic is young men between the age of 18 and 25, and they have all fallen in love with the can, and every one of them has searched, where can I buy a can, on Google. And I'm sure that someone in Thailand is keeping busy making these things. But this is, I would
I
have to say, the can is the most, is the one that touches
I
me the most.
think you should have tied up the import rights to the can before you started this. That's what I think. I think you've looked, and I threw in the name Chris Martin earlier on Coldplay, and I know you had I know that there was a tribute concert for you, which he was part of. Who else was in that concert? Anyone else whose name we might
Well, it was an
recognize?
amazing event. It was a fundraiser. When in the worst of my illness, I was most barely able to get out of bed, and I needed help. And some friends of mine organized this concert of 40 artists, and you can watch it on YouTube today. But Chris Martin of Coldplay was one of the artists, and it was a beautiful night about a year ago.
God bless you. God bless you. Well, listen, I'm going to get hauled off. The hook's going to come out and grab me round the neck and pull me up if we don't stop very soon. But this has been a pleasure talking to you.
It
An
has been
absolute
a pleasure,
pleasure.
Rick. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thanks everyone out
really,
there.
it's
Thanks all the people
wonderful.
out there watching. Lauren, I see you, and Gail, thank you. It's great to have you here.
So I'm not sure who our guest is next month, but for those of you who have been with us for the past 2 years, you know we're going to have somebody special. You know that our amazing impresario producer, Mr. John Ivory, is going to come up with something remarkable. And we'll see you back next month. In the meantime, don't forget the tip box. Please don't forget the tip box. And do check out ancan.org. Because we have some amazing programming, including the virtual art. Oh, and I should tell you how we are actually trying to figure out how we can do a virtual musical support session each month. So we should be talking to you about that as well. So I'm going to get my man Jimmy Greenfield to talk to you about that, or make sure he watches this. And that's it. That's all I got to say. I'm handing it back to Brianna.
All right. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Hal. And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Please check out our website for more information on our upcoming shows for the rest of this week. Don't forget to donate to the tip jar, and we hope to see you next time. Have a good evening.
How do I describe my journey with
Your mother, who takes care of you, who takes you to the doctor when you're sick. Your mother.
Good morning, New York. Buenos dias. It's me. What's up?
We went out for lunch at a sushi place where she tried sushi for the first time and she liked it.
I see that change can happen. I know things can shift and change for good.
I am dizzily dazzled with stars in my eyes.
Same level as I broke my neck. But he's not getting the same return of function I am.
And I don't want any of your smart aleck sex talk that I usually get when I get.
This is beyond the marsh, because what you're doing is planting beautiful seeds for artists to grow.